We have working Wi-Fi, buddy! Literally haven't even taken my scarf and shoes off yet. I was coming home, testing the internet speed so that I could be right on the phone to complain if it was slow. Oh, that's good. I mean, it's not what we paid for, but it's better than less than 1 megabyte we were getting yesterday. Also, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't too sure about this when we bought it yesterday. I figured this out about me, but I'm kind of like the kind of person who, if I've got stuff that works and does a job, then I don't see the point in getting more stuff, essentially. So there are things... is that necessarily true? Is that kind of what I'm saying? But like, I'm quite reluctant to buy things that I consider to be like clutter. Like Laura asked to see if we could get, she didn't ask my permission. She raised the idea of getting something that like was like a grid, like a metal grid that you can like put photos on and stuff. And I passed the opinion that I think it looks a bit like a student flat or whatever, student's bedroom. And this was essentially, Laura thought it was a good idea. And I was like, to be fair, I get annoyed by everyone's shoes being everywhere. But, I mean, is it going to get used? And all that kind of stuff. So I kind of got, every now and again, there's one of them things where I'm like, I don't really agree with this, but I'm going to let it happen. I'm going to be a nice boyfriend. I'm going to let it happen. So I let us buy it, thinking, oh, this is I feel like we're going to put it there and it's going to be too big. I feel like you're going to feel like this is a bit too much of a corridor now. I feel like it's going to feel like it's in the way. But I actually like it. So that's what we get, isn't it, buddy? Although I do think it could be a bit sturdier. The way this flat is, it's not. There's a lot of things about this flat that aren't perfect, we'll say. One of them is the flooring, the carpet. One, we don't like the carpet. We think it's well, it's not very nice. And in places there is here. This was from a previous tenant who left a hot iron on the floor and melted the glue under the carpet. We don't like the settee either. We think it's really uncomfortable, and there's a couple of places where the springs are thingy. But there's not much you can do about that because you're in a furnished flat or whatever. And we deliberately picked a furnished flat because we couldn't afford at the time to buy stuff. But another thing that's wrong is at the carpet goes up at the corner. It's like that and goes. So underneath here, look. We've had to wedge it. Otherwise, I quite like that thing. It's quite cool. I mean, we've only had it for like less than 24 hours, but I think it cleans up the place pretty well. Since we have Wi-Fi then, I'm going to get the footage off my camera, get it rendering, and then we'll talk. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Videos are now uploading. The internet does seem to have dropped again. It seems to be unreliable, which is irritating, but not much I can do about it. So, what's been going on today, ladies and gentlemen? Today, I woke up this morning not wanting to... See, now it's back. The balls, man. I woke up this morning not wanting to wake up this morning. Well, I don't know, really. I was just tired. I apologise for how dark it is. I was just not feeling it, you know? You're just like, I could just roll over and go back to sleep right now. But got up and headed on into work as per usual. Today has been really cold. Like, so cold. It's mental. Got into work and they've turned the heating on. Well, hey. So I only had my scarf on in the office for like the first hour, and then once the heating had like fully kicked up, that was when we put on. I like went down to just a shirt, which was great. What was I doing today? Today, migration thing I did yesterday passed, so that all worked. When operations ran it, they had a problem with encoding on the files again. So I basically, in the nicest possible way, said, I've updated the database using the script that you ran, but I ran it on my computer and it worked fine. The database is updated. You need to figure out how to solve this problem. Here are some steps, like here's a script, point at the dev database, that doesn't matter, run this script, run that script, run this script, figure out where the problem is, done. Like, basically, poll the database, set the ID, check the ID. Okay, keep doing this until you've figured out how to set the encoding properly, because it's not my position to do that for you. That's your job. So anyway, that was fun. And then otherwise today I was doing more build stuff, doing some more refactoring, which has been good fun. I've also been like working with other people, trying to wrap my head around something for Paul, sorting something out for Tom, where I'm like trying to help him test something and trying to like fight the good fight, like test it properly. Understand the reasoning why I'm telling you that what you're doing is just more hard work for yourself, and that because you're doing it this way, you're hating testing and you want to do this other kind of test, this integration testing that doesn't work properly. So fighting the good fight there. And no matter how many times I say, this is what the best thing to do is, you should do this. He's like, oh, but do this. Yeah, but here's all the downsides to doing it that way. You should do it this way. And then I was like, right, try someone else. Like, ask someone else. And then fucking the two other people that asked were like, yeah, well, just do that. Like, for God's sake. I was basically saying that, like, he's setting up a load of mocks. He's got some kind of method where, like, the first time it passes something, it does something and saves it. The second time it's passed the same thing, it doesn't create a new one, it edits it, and then does something like a similar thing. It like updates it essentially. And I'm like, look, you can do all this, but if you move the creation thing out, because the creation like essentially creates an email, you take the creation method out, which is just a private method on this class, put in a separate class that's just responsible for making that thing. You can then mock that out, and then you can test this class. You can pass it one thing and go, did you build that thing? Yes. You can then pass it in another test, pass it a thing, don't care what happens in that scenario, although you will make the creator return a email, it wasn't an email, but an email that you want it to return so that you can validate other stuff. And then you pass it in again, and then you make sure that you didn't call the creator, and that the settings that you want to set on the validator on the update statement are, not validator, sorry, email, all go through to the next service fine. And there what you've done is you haven't locked the implementation down to the hash map you're using to keep these things in memory. You haven't done this, you haven't done that, and you've simplified the amount of mocking you need to do. And that's like proper unit testing. Like in an ideal world, I'd also split some of the stuff out as well, to be honest with you. But that's the best. And he's like, oh, but what if I moved everything out and took the hash map out as well? But like, no. What if I mock the hash map? No. Stop it. Like this is the simplest thing. So it was good fun. It's one of them ones where like everything. It was interesting because we had a conversation yesterday about like how to develop code. Because ironically, the day after I went to that meeting about agile development, he said to me like, is agile like what takes longer, agile or waterfall? And he said because like the requirements keep changing. You can't see shit. The requirements keep changing, and like every day, or every week or so, the requirements change. I said, well, like we're not doing agile. Like just because you say you're doing agile doesn't mean it takes less. Just because like in agile you say that you can change the requirements doesn't mean the requirements don't change in waterfall. You just develop in a way that allows you to change. So I'm like, look, if you did it like this is in my opinion, the most agile way you could do it. Yes, there's a little bit more effort involved in creating another class just to do this thing, but that could be reused. If you need to change it, then you don't have to change the 50 tests you've written in this class to mock it. Because you just do it in that test instead, and then this one's unaffected, and someone else could reuse it in the future. You never know, but you may as well. Oh, but anyway. So that was good fun as well. And also I was talking to someone else about like potentially ways of changing my validation thing so that it works using Lambda predicates and shit, but it's all irrelevant because we can't move to Java 8. So, YOLO. Otherwise, drove home. Took me ages to drive home. Took me about 40 minutes to drive home.
Mate, it was only banter.
Assume you heard that. Right, okay. Laws. on our way home. Laura's text tone. It's her. She was talking and then she accidentally pressed like the record button on WhatsApp and sent someone an audio file of mate. It was only banter, and that's now my text tone whenever she texts me because I think it's fucking hilarious. I've forgotten what I was talking about. Yeah, came home. The fog was so thick. I've not driven, like I was just driving along and then just the fog just swooped in. It was crazy. So yeah, that affected the traffic on the way home a little bit, I believe. Right, I am now going to go through comments, get them all sorted because I haven't done that in a while. Mainly because like I fell behind on videos randomly because everything just stopped working on my upload schedules and shit. But yeah, cool. Let's do that, and then Laura's going to come back. We may be gymming tonight. We were supposed to go gymming yesterday, but Laura didn't feel very well. She's feeling okay. Depends what time it's going to be after we've eaten dinner and all that kind of stuff, though. That's the problem. If she gets home really late, and the traffic in Bristol the past couple of days has been absolutely atrocious, so I think she might get back too late. And to be honest, I can't be arsed. I'm having real like problems this week. Like being driven to do stuff outside of work. Actually, I'm being quite driven inside of work, apart from my bad day. But like, otherwise, I'm just like, just kind of want to chill. Just kind of want to chill. Don't even really want to do programming. And I'm kind of enjoying that, to be honest with you. Although I should actually do shit, so there's that too. Still got my bubble wrap as well, boys. Oh yeah. You don't get back in, Graham. She's like, I can't be bothered to sit up, Jamie. I'm just lying down, chewing. Why did you have to buy a chew that's so fucking big? I can't just break it off really easily. What we normally get is got like smaller bits on it, like lots of small bits instead of one big thing. But she figured out how to like chew instead of just like chewing all the way around it or something like that. She just like really targeted chewing. Straight through the middle, straight through the centre, thinnest part, gets it off, and then just like chucks it in the corner, then goes for the next one. And then I was spending like £4 on these chew things, and she like eats it all and like takes it all off and gets bored, and then chews the cage instead for like after like half a week or so. It's ridiculous. So we got this big one instead because like essentially she's got to have like all the way across, like really targeted, to be able to get this off, and even then it's probably going to take a semi-decent amount of time. I think Laura's back. But yeah, so that was the plan of attack there, and it's working. It's working. She is still chewing away at it, and a lot of time has passed. It's now 12:30. We had dinner. We didn't go to the gym, as you can tell, because I'm still wearing the same clothes. I was the one that pulled out, to Laura's credit, but we was also having sausage and mash tonight, and I don't think going to the gym after sausage and mash works. We normally plan like a lighter meal to have, but obviously we were planning to go to the gym yesterday, so that's half of my excuse. Otherwise I couldn't be asked. What went on then? We had dinner, watched Peaky Blinders, which was fucking incredible. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And then we watched The Apprentice, which was alright. Laura went to bed, I did some programming and watched Question Time, which is my general Thursday thing, that's what I do. And then I finished up some programming and went to go play a game I played yesterday, Orcs Must Die 2, which I enjoyed for a little bit, but now I'm heading to bed, so all good in the hood, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this video. Tomorrow is going to be a weird day. I'm on my Wansome until I pick Laura up from town, because she's going to a Christmas meal thing, so I'm not going to see her much tomorrow, sad times, but I'm hoping to be able to get my code to the stage where I can transfer it onto Atlas, and it'll be a case of come home, boot up Atlas, download the code, go. Work. Dinner is relatively simple, so it won't be a case that like the only break I'll have is to have dinner, basically. That's my plan of attack anyway. We'll see how it goes. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you later.